The paper slips from the desk and hits the floor between your shoes. Crumpled. Creased. Stamped in red like a verdict already decided. Cheater. 3 answers are circled. 3 answers are circled. 3 answers they say she copied. 3 answers that will decide everything. Your daughter cheated. We have proof. The room feels smaller than it should. Too quiet. Too certain. You don't move. You don't speak. You just look down at the paper, like it might change if you stare long enough. It doesn't. A small hand grips your sleeve, tight, shaking. You glance down. Your daughter won't look up at you. She's staring at the floor, like she already knows she's losing something she can't name. Your eyes go back to the paper, to the circled answers. One of them is wrong. Not her answer. The marking. It's correct, but they marked it wrong anyway. Your jaw tightens, just slightly. Not enough for anyone to notice. Except you. You will understand why when you see the full report. The vice principal slides a folder across the table. Thick. Prepared. Planned. This wasn't a mistake. You don't argue. You don't raise your voice. You don't defend her. You just reach forward and pull the file closer because you already know something they don't, and that changes everything. The hallway lights flicker on one by one. You are already there. Mop in your hands. Bucket beside you. Water turning gray with every pass. You move slowly, carefully, like the floor matters. Because to you, it does. It's the same hallway your daughter walks every morning. The same tiles her shoes tap across. The same place she still turns back once, just to check if you're watching. You always are. At the far end of the corridor, she sits on the bench. Small backpack beside her. Crayons spread out like they're part of something important. She doesn't complain. She never does. She just draws. You glance over between strokes of the mop. She's focused, tongue slightly out, eyes locked on the paper like the world depends on it. It always does with her. You finish the row, rinse the mop, then walk over. What is it today? She doesn't answer right away. She just turns the paper toward you. 3 figures. Her and someone else. But the third one has no face. Your chest tightens. Just for a second. Then you smile anyway. It's getting better, you say softly. She nods, like that's all she needed. You stand there a moment longer, then head back to work. Because standing still costs money now. Everything does. The bills don't stop. They don't slow down. They don't care. Hospital letters, old ones, still unpaid. You remember the room, white walls, quiet machines. Her hand in yours, weaker than it should have been. Take care of her, she whispered. You nodded, because there was nothing else you could do. And then she was gone, just like that. You pushed the memory away, not because it hurts, but because you don't have time to feel it. Not anymore. A stack of envelopes waits at home, each one heavier than the last. School fees, uniforms, books, and the scholarship. That's the only reason she's here. The only reason she gets to sit in this hallway, drawing pictures that still have hope in them. You glance back at her again. She's coloring now. Careful. Precise. Always inside the lines. Just like her tests. Just like everything she does. You've seen her papers. You've seen the way she answers. You notice patterns. Mistakes. Trends. Faster than the teacher sometimes. It's just something your mind does. You don't talk about it. You don't need to. because none of that matters anymore. Not here. Not in this life. At the far end of the glass hallway, someone stands watching, dressed sharp, still, observing. She doesn't belong to this place, not like you do. Dr. Amelia Voss. You've seen her name before? On documents, on letters, on decisions that shape people like you. She watches the school like it's something to measure, not something to feel. Her eyes move across the students, across the staff, across your daughter, then briefly to you. And just like that, she looks away. You go back to work. Because that's what you do. You don't ask questions. You don't expect help. You just keep going. But you feel it now. Something shifting. Something wrong. You look at Lily again. At her drawing. 3 figures, one without a face. And for the first time, you wonder if that empty space is waiting for something, or someone, because the accusation does not just threaten her grades, it threatens everything. The room is already full when you walk in. Chairs lined in rows. Teachers on one side, parents on the other. No one looks surprised to see you. That's the first thing you notice. They were expecting this. Mr. Blake stands at the front. Perfect posture. Perfect voice. Like this is just another routine announcement. Thank you all for coming on short notice. He doesn't look at you yet. He doesn't need to. A screen lights up behind him. Your daughter's name appears. Clear. Centered. Unavoidable. A quiet ripple moves through the room. Whispers. Side glances. You stand near the back. Still. Listening. As you can see, Blake continues, this case involves a violation of academic integrity. He clicks once. Her test appears. Highlighted sections. Red marks. Notes written like conclusions already sealed. 3 answers, he says calmly. Identical to restricted material. Murmurs grow louder now. Parents lean closer to each other. Teachers shift in their seats. You watch the screen, not the people, never the people, because people lie. Patterns don't. Blake steps aside slightly, gesturing to the evidence like it speaks for itself. Cross-referenced, verified, confirmed. He says each word slower than the last, like he wants it to settle, like he wants it to stick. You take a step forward, just one. Enough to see the details more clearly. Timestamps, submission logs, answer alignment. Your eyes move faster than his voice, faster than the room, and then you see it. A number. Small, almost invisible. Wrong. Your breathing doesn't change. Your face doesn't move. But something inside you shifts. Because that number doesn't belong there. It couldn't. Not if the data was real. Not if this was honest. You look at the second file, then the third. Same pattern. Same flaw. Different places. Too precise to be random. Too hidden to be accidental. You already know. He continues speaking. And based on this, the school has decided to proceed with disciplinary action. He finally looks at you. Directly. Confident. Certain. Because he thinks this is over. You don't react. Not when the whispers get louder. Not when someone near the front shakes their head. Not when a teacher lowers her eyes instead of meeting yours. You just stand there, watching, listening, calculating. This institution is built on trust, Blake says, his voice firm now. And we do not tolerate dishonesty here. That line lands exactly how he wants it to. Heavy. Final. Someone exhales sharply. Another parent nods. It's done in their minds. Already decided. A staff member enters quietly from the side door, leans toward Blake, whispers something. He nods once, then gestures toward the hallway. She will be escorted out of class, he says, effective immediately. The room doesn't react, because this part is procedural, routine, clean, like removing a mistake. You don't move, but your hand tightens slightly at your side. Not anger, not panic, just control. More than before, because now you're certain this is not a misunderstanding. This is not a miscalculation. This is not a system error. This is constructed, layered, designed. You take one slow breath, then another, and finally you turn, not toward the people, not toward Blake, but toward the door, because arguing here changes nothing. Not yet. Not until you understand everything. You walk out the same way you walked in. Quiet, steady, unshaken. And that's the part they don't notice. Because to them, you just lost. But you didn't. Not yet. He walks out, but not defeated. The letter arrives before you do. Folded, sealed, waiting on the table like it belongs there. You don't open it right away. You already know what it says. Still, you sit down, slowly, carefully, and tear it open. Temporary suspension pending final review. Clean words, cold words, no hesitation in them, no doubt, just a decision made without you. Another envelope sits underneath it, thicker. You open that one next. Scholarship under reconsideration due to academic misconduct. That one hits differently. Not louder, not sharper, just deeper. Because that was the only thing holding everything together. You place both letters down, side by side, like they belong together, because they do. From the hallway you hear soft footsteps. You don't turn yet. You already know. She walks in slowly. Backpack still on, shoes dragging just slightly across the floor. Something is different, not in what she says, in what she doesn't. No story about her day, no small excitement, no drawings in her hands this time. She just stands there, quiet. You look at her, really look, and you see it. The space, the way kids look when they feel something they don't understand yet. "Hey," you say gently. She nods. That's all. She moves past you, sits down, pulls out her crayons. Like always, like nothing changed. But everything has. You watch her for a moment. Then you look away, because watching hurts more than anything else right now. The next day is worse. Parents don't speak. They don't smile. They don't even pretend. They just pull their kids closer when she walks by, like something might spread, like she's something to avoid. She notices, of course she does. Kids always do. But she doesn't say anything. Not until later. Not until it's just the two of you again. She's sitting on the floor this time. Paper in front of her. Drawing again. You stand near the doorway. Not stepping in. Not yet. Because something in your chest feels heavier than before. She finishes the drawing slowly. Then she looks up. Finally. Did I do something bad? The question doesn't come out loud. It comes out small, careful, like she's afraid of the answer. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out, because there's nothing you can say that fixes this, nothing that makes it make sense to her. She watches you, waiting, trusting, always trusting. You step forward, slowly, and kneel beside her. You shake your head. No. That's all you manage. One word. But it has to be enough. It has to carry everything you can't explain. She nods, like she believes you, like she always has. Then she turns the paper toward you. 3 figures. Same as before. But this time the third one is still there, still empty, still without a face. You stare at it longer than you should. because now it feels different, like it's missing something important, like it's waiting. On the table behind you, another paper waits. The confession form. Simple, direct. Sign here. Admit fault. End it quietly. You pick it up. Hold it. Read it once. Then again. Your fingers tighten slightly around the edge. This would make it easier, faster, cleaner. No more whispers. No more stares. No more questions she can't answer. You sit down, pen in your hand, hovering, just above the line. You almost sign it. Almost. Then you hear her voice again. Soft, careful. You always say truth wins, right? Your hand stops, completely. The pen doesn't move, doesn't touch the paper. You look at her. She's not even looking at you anymore, just coloring quietly, like she already said what mattered. And in that moment, everything shifts. That question stops him. CT a placeholder. What would you do if your child was falsely accused? Comment below before the truth is revealed. You come in earlier than usual. The building is still quiet, empty in a way that feels different now. Not peaceful, just hollow. You don't go to the office. You don't check the board. You don't look for anyone. You just work. A desk in the corner of a classroom is broken, leg bent, slightly unstable. You kneel down beside it. No noise, no attention. Just your hands, steady, precise. You adjust the screws, rebalance the weight, test it once. Then again, it holds. You don't leave a note. You don't say anything. You just move on. From the doorway, someone is watching. Still, silent, Dr. Amelia Voss. She doesn't announce herself. She doesn't interrupt. She just stands there, observing. Not the work. You. Because there's something about the way you move, the way you focus, that doesn't match the story she was given. A child drops a stack of books nearby. Too many. Too heavy. They scatter across the floor. No one steps in. No one reacts. Except you. You walk over, kneel again, gather them one by one. You don't ask questions. You don't correct. You don't judge. You just help. The child mumbles a quiet, "Thank you." You nod once. Then you walk away. Like it never mattered. Amelia's eyes follow you the whole time, because something isn't adding up. A man accused of cheating his way through his daughter's future doesn't move like this, doesn't act like this, doesn't stay this calm. You never once defend yourself, not to her, not to anyone, and that bothers her more than anything else. Later, she sits alone. Files open in front of her. Your daughter's test, the reports, the official statements, everything Blake presented. Clean, structured, convincing. But she doesn't look at it like the others did. She reads slowly, carefully, then again, because something feels off. A small detail, easy to miss, but once seen, impossible to ignore. She pulls up the system logs, scrolls down, stops. The Hawthorne evaluation log. Time of submission, time of review, time of flagging. Her eyes narrow slightly. One timestamp does not match the test time, just one. But it shouldn't exist at all. Not like that. Not in that order. She leans back, thinking, replaying it. Again, 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 again. Then she stands, because now she needs confirmation. Mrs. Hill is in her classroom, organizing papers, slowly, methodically. Amelia steps inside. No small talk, no introduction, just one question. Did anything seem unusual during the exam? Mrs. Hill pauses. Not long, just enough. Her hands rest on the desk. She doesn't look up right away. Then finally, she speaks. I've been teaching for 20 years, she says quietly, and I've learned something. Amelia waits. Mrs. Hill looks at her now, directly. When something looks too perfect, she stops. Just for a second. It usually isn't. Silence fills the room. Not heavy, just clear. Amelia nods once. Ben turns, walking out without another word, because now she knows this isn't over. Not even close. She glances down the hallway as she leaves, and for a brief moment, she sees your daughter. Sitting alone, same bench, same crayons. Drawing again, waiting. Always waiting. Amelia's expression changes, just slightly. Something softer, something human. Then it's gone, replaced by something sharper, more focused. Because now there's a crack in the story. Small, but real. And she is not the kind of person who ignores cracks. Amelia decides to look deeper. The room is darker this time. Not empty, just quiet in a different way. A screen glows in front of you. Security footage. Amelia stands beside you, arms crossed, eyes fixed. Watch carefully, she says. You don't answer. You don't need to. The video plays. Students leaving the room. Chairs pushed back. Papers collected. Normal. Routine. Then the timestamp shifts. Minutes pass. The room is empty now. Except for one figure. Blake. He walks in slowly. Checks the hallway. Closes the door behind him. Your eyes don't blink. Not once. He moves toward the desk. Opens a folder. Pulls out a sheet. Your daughter's test. The video zooms slightly. Not enough for anyone else to notice, but enough for you. Your jaw tightens. He reaches into his pocket, takes out his phone. The screen lights his face. He taps, scrolls, compares. Then he writes something. Small, precise, right where the answers are circled. The video stops. Silence. The system was accessed after the exam ended. Amelia's voice is steady, controlled. But there's something under it now. Something sharper. You don't speak. You just nod once. Because this part you already understood. She switches screens. Emails appear. Thread after thread. Dates. Times. Internal notes. Discrepancy flagged. Manual review required. Adjust for consistency. The words feel harmless at first, until you read them together, until you see the pattern, until you understand what they really mean. He created the inconsistency, she says quietly, then used it to justify the accusation. Your eyes move across the screen again, faster now, confirming. Every piece fitting into place, every gap closing. Mrs. Hill sits across the table, hands folded. Still. I knew something was wrong, she says softly, but I didn't have proof. She looks at you, then at Amelia. Now you do. Amelia exhales slowly. Not relief. Not yet. Just clarity. The kind that comes right before everything breaks open. The room goes quiet again. For a moment, no one speaks. Then she turns to you. For the first time, not as a director, not as someone above you, just as someone standing in the same place. I grew up in a house where truth didn't matter, she says. Her voice is different now, lower, more real. My father lied about everything, small things, big things. She looks away for a second, like the memory isn't easy. After a while, you stop questioning it. You just accept it. Her eyes come back to you. But I didn't. A pause. I left. Built everything on one rule. She holds your gaze. I don't trust easily. Silence again. Then, softer, I trust you. You don't react. Not the way most people would. No surprise. No gratitude. You just listen. Fully. Like her words matter. Because they do. You nod once. Nothing more. But somehow, that's enough. For her. For this moment. For what comes next. She closes the laptop slowly, carefully, like sealing something important. We don't take this to him privately, she says. Her voice is firm again now, focused. We do it where it matters. You already know what she means. You've known since the beginning, because this was never going to end quietly. Not something built this deliberately. Not something meant to destroy. You stand up. She does the same. Mrs. Hill follows. 3 people now, on the same side, for the first time. And now, it's not just about proving the truth. It's about exposing it. They prepare to confront him. The message comes through before you even reach the gate. Short, formal, final. Due to ongoing investigation, access is revoked. Permanent expulsion under review. You stop walking. Just for a second. Then you keep going. Because stopping doesn't change what's already been decided. At the entrance, security doesn't meet your eyes. They don't need to. They already know why you're here and why she isn't allowed inside. Lily stands beside you, backpack on, straps held tight in her hands. She looks at the building like she's trying to understand why it suddenly feels different, like it doesn't belong to her anymore. I can't go in, she asks. Soft, not confused, just careful. You kneel in front of her, level with her eyes. No, you say quietly. That word lands heavier than anything else today. She nods, slowly, like she's accepting something she doesn't fully understand. Behind you, the doors open. Blake steps out, calm, composed, exactly the same as before, like nothing has changed, like everything is still under his control. I warned you, he says. No anger, no emotion, just certainty. This process is bigger than you. You stand, turn to face him, still calm, still quiet, but different now, because you know what he did, because you saw it, because you understand it better than he thinks. This was never about cheating, you say. Your voice doesn't rise. It doesn't need to. Blake smiles slightly, like he expected resistance, like it doesn't matter. You can believe whatever helps you sleep, he replies, but the outcome will be the same. Lily looks between both of you. Her small hand slips into yours, tighter this time. Not afraid, just holding on. Amelia steps forward from behind. Blake notices her. For the first time, his expression shifts, just slightly, enough to notice. This is not your jurisdiction, he says. Amelia doesn't answer him directly. She looks at you instead, at your hand holding your daughter's, at the way you stand, not for yourself, but for her. Something in her eyes changes. The last wall, gone, because she understands now. You're not fighting for reputation. You're not fighting for pride. You're fighting for her, and there is nothing stronger than that. Blake turns slightly toward Lily, just for a moment, and that's when it happens. She steps forward, small, steady, looking straight at him. I told the truth, she says. No hesitation, no fear, just truth, pure, unfiltered, unbreakable. The silence that follows is different. It doesn't belong to Blake anymore. It doesn't belong to the school. It belongs to her. Why are they so scared of the truth? She asks. No one answers. Not Blake. Not the staff. not the people watching from inside. Because no one can. You tighten your grip on her hand, just slightly, not to protect her, but to remind yourself why you're still standing. Blake exhales slowly, then straightens. We're done here, he says. But he's wrong. You can feel it. Everything is about to shift. Amelia steps forward again, voice calm, final. This will not be handled privately. Blake's eyes narrow. Now he understands. Too late. The line has already been crossed. There's no quiet resolution anymore, no closed doors, no controlled narrative, only exposure, only truth, only what comes next. The meeting is scheduled. The room is larger than it needs to be. Long table, glass walls, people who decide things without ever touching them. You stand at one end, not invited, not welcomed, but present. Blake sits across from you, confident again, recovered. Like this is just another meeting he will control. Amelia stands beside you, calm, unshaken. This session is now under formal review, she says. Her voice carries across the room, clear, sharp. No one interrupts. The screen behind her lights up. First image. Your daughter's test. Marked. Stamped. Judged. Blake leans back slightly, unbothered. We've already established, not completely, Amelia cuts in. No emotion. Just precision. She clicks once. The Hawthorne evaluation log appears. Timestamps lined in order. Neat, convincing, until you look closer. She doesn't explain yet. She lets the room absorb it. Then, she plays the footage. The room falls silent. Every eye locked on the screen. Blake walking in. After the exam. Alone. The pause. The movement. The moment. You don't look at the screen. You look at him. Because this is where it breaks. You edited the system, but not perfectly. Your voice is quiet, but it lands. Because it's not a guess, it's a fact. Blake doesn't respond immediately. For the first time, he hesitates. Amelia clicks again. Email chains appear. Layered, timed, connected, each one closing a gap, each one removing another excuse. Manual adjustments, she reads. Post-entry review. Correction alignment. She looks at him now. Do you want to explain these? Blake sits forward. Finally. This is being taken out of context. Another click. The timestamps align. Perfectly. Too perfectly. Except for one. The one you saw first. The one that doesn't belong. The one that proves everything. Silence stretches. Longer this time. Because now everyone sees it. Not just you. Not just Amelia. Everyone. You take one step forward. Not aggressive. Not loud. Just present. I used to build systems like this. The words settle slowly. People glance at you now. Really look at you. Not the janitor. Not the father. Something else. Someone else. Patterns. You continue quietly. Access logs. Behavioral inconsistencies. You gesture toward the screen. They always leave a trace. Blake's composure cracks. Just a little. Enough. This is ridiculous, he says. You're taking the word of no. Amelia interrupts. Calm. Final. We are looking at evidence. She steps forward, closer to the table, closer to him. This is manipulation of academic records, she says, and intentional misconduct involving a minor. The words hit harder than anything before, because now it has a name. Now it has weight. Blake looks around the room, searching for support, for doubt, for anything. There's nothing. One of the board members speaks, quiet, controlled. This is grounds for immediate termination. Another voice follows. and legal escalation. Blake's face changes, not slowly, all at once. The confidence disappears, replaced by something else, something smaller. This is a misunderstanding. It isn't, Amelia says. No anger, no emotion, just truth. Two security officers step inside. No rush, no hesitation. They walk toward him. He doesn't resist, because there's nothing left to resist. Everything is already gone. His position, his already, his control, all of it. In seconds, in silence, in front of everyone he thought he controlled. You don't say anything. You don't need to, because this was never about proving yourself. It was about protecting her. Amelia turns to you. For a brief moment, the room disappears. She nods, small, but it carries everything. Respect, understanding, choice. This will be corrected immediately, she says. Your daughter's record will be cleared. A pause. Then, and her scholarship reinstated. You nod once. Nothing more. Because that's enough. More than enough. The room begins to move again. Voices returning. Decisions forming. But for you, it's already over. Because the truth did what it was supposed to do. It stood. And it stayed. And it won. Everything changes after that moment. The mornings feel different now. Not quieter. Not slower. Just lighter. You still arrive early. Still walk the same halls. Still carry the same mop in your hands. But people look at you differently. They nod now. They greet you. Some even stop to talk. Respect doesn't make noise, but you feel it. At the end of the hallway, she's there. Same bench, same crayons. But something has changed. She looks up as soon as she sees you, and this time she smiles first. You walk over, sit beside her. What is it today? She turns the paper slowly, carefully, like it matters, because it does. 3 figures, you, her, and someone else. But this time, the third one has a face, clear, complete. The drawing is finally complete. You stare at it longer than you should. Not because you don't understand it, but because you don't understand it. But because you do. Is that me? Amelia's voice comes from behind. Soft, almost unsure. You turn. She's standing there, not in a suit this time, not distant, not untouchable, just present. Lily nods quickly. Yes. Amelia kneels beside her, careful not to disturb the paper. That's a very important spot, she says gently. Lily shrugs, like it's obvious. You're part of it now. Simple words. But they land deeper than anything else. You glance at Amelia. She doesn't look away. Not this time. There's something different in her eyes. Not authority, not distance, something warmer, something real. Weeks pass quietly. No headlines, no announcements, just small changes. Lily back in class, laughing again, raising her hand without hesitation. Her name no longer whispered. Her place restored. And you're still here. Still working, but no longer invisible. There's a difference between being seen and being recognized. You feel that now, in the way people speak, in the way they listen, in the way they no longer look through you. One afternoon, she sits beside you again, drawing. Always drawing. She pauses halfway, then looks up. Does truth always win? The question is softer this time, not uncertain, just curious. You think for a moment, not because you don't know the answer, but because you don't know the weight of it. Then you shake your head gently. Not always. She tilts her head, processing. Then you add, but it should. A small pause. You glance at Amelia, then back at your daughter. And sometimes, it just needs someone to stand for it. She nods. Like that makes sense. Like it's enough. Because for her, it is. You look at the drawing again, at the three faces. Complete, connected, whole. And for the first time in a long time, you don't feel like something is missing, because it isn't. There are moments that break everything, and moments that put it back together. This was both. There are moments that change everything forever. If this story touched your heart, please hit that subscribe button and join the Just Dad Things family. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today, and drop a comment telling us which moment hit you the hardest. We read every single one. Until next time, remember, you never know how one moment of kindness can change everything.